Good morning and welcome to this thing again. I continue to be doing what I've seemed to have spent most of my life doing, and I'm cleaning up after other mechanics' mistakes. This is my 2003 Chrysler PT Cruiser GT, and in here you will see the transmission is no longer connected. There it is. This is the second time I've done this. Here's the flywheel. This is why I've had to do this. Because there should be a piece right here, and that piece is missing. So to recap where I am with this, I had to take the transmission out shortly after I got it because the clutch was bad, and I put a new clutch in it, resurfaced the flywheel with a wire wheel because it's a dual mass and you can't resurface it. Put it back in the car, had a really nasty vibration, so I did all the motor mounts, which was a huge pain, and I still have a really nasty vibration. It's RPM speed, it's an engine vibration. So I did some searching, did some asking, and someone asked, hey, is the centering bushing in there? The heck's a centering bushing? Well, turns out, no, the centering bushing was not in there. There is supposed to be a bushing that presses into the flywheel that locates it within the crank, because this is a modular clutch. It does not stab onto the engine. It stabs, it sits on the transmission, bolts up like a torque converter. That's it. And so the whole flywheel was slightly off center. It was going to da-da-da-da. Okay, fair. I'll buy a new bushing. Wait, no, you can't buy a bushing. It's part of the flywheel. So I'll buy a new flywheel. No, you can't buy a new flywheel. They've been out of production for 7 years. Your only choice is a $1,000 single mass flywheel conversion. Thankfully, a very nice person in California had a spare one, and they sent it to me, and here it is. This is the bushing. And on screen right now is CAD models I made of this bushings, fully dimensioned drawings. If you need one of these, if for whatever reason you're in the same situation as I am, you can hopefully take these to a machine shop and they can lathe you one out. Now, why do I need one? Where is my bushing? Did I lose it? No. I went back and watched the videos where I removed the trans and the bushing was just straight up not there as soon as I took it out, which means previous mechanic lost this bushing. That's a task. How the hell did they manage that? You can tell I'm agitated. So let's put this back where it should be, where it should have always been and never left. Why it's not actually welded to the thing, I don't know. They welded the bosses on for the things, so why not weld this in? Oh, looks like it needs a little tap. There. The beatings will continue until morale improves. There, it's in. I don't trust the head of this hammer. Okay, so there we go. That's it. The centering bushing is now in the flywheel. Now, this sits back in the transmission. I need to rotate the transmission and pump up the trans jack, and then try and restab it. Fortunately, I made some tools to make this a little bit easier. Still hot. Still very hot. This is one of the bell housing bolts. It's the only one that's that long. I think it goes through that. So I bought another couple of those and created some locating dowels with slots in the end so I can drive them in with a flat blade. Let's see, one of these guys. Yeah, this one maybe. But those are going to go in the top two positions of the bell housing pattern here and hold the shim in place and give me something to hang and align the transmission from so that I can actually mate it up. Because that was the hardest part of doing the clutch on this, was actually getting the stupid trans back in there, because everything is difficult here. And I might actually have to cut those down. They might be a bit too long, but I guess we'll see. Something else I bought are these things. These are booger bushings. They're available in many colors, but I got them in green because boogers. I thought it was funny at the time. And those replace the bushings in the end of the shift cables. So if we look here, you can see right there, there is a rubber bushing in the end of that cable. Now those look okay to me, but this car shifts like ass. And I think replacing those will be the solution, because they are original and this car does have 100,000 miles on it. So I replaced the two on that end, and then I need to go in and I need to actually disassemble part of that Hurst short shifter abomination and replace those as well. Because what happens is when you go to grab, well, any gear, you go from first to second, and it'll go, and then fall into gear. It drives like you're floating gears, and I think that's because the left-right isn't quite correct, and I think it's because the bushings are bad. If nothing else, the bushings help make it feel better, so it'll feel better. I'm procrastinating because I really don't want to do this. This also took like 4 people to reassemble last time. I'm just gonna go get dinner with Elliot, and this can be a thing later. Okay, so then this dumb garbage, which weighs 5 million pounds. Go on. There we go. Goes on the transmission. And then okay. And now it goes up. So I got my 2 studs there on the engine. There's the trans. I'm really think I'm gonna have to cut those studs down to actually have enough room. Those protrude a lot more than I thought. And the problem is we've got that sort of frame horn there, and then we've got the diff. And the diff likes to hit that, which really restricts how much room we have to work with. Also, I got the booger bushings in. You just push them in there. It's about as straightforward as it gets. So I guess I'm going to crank up on the trans jack and get the trans up in there a little bit and see where we're at. Yeah, so as expected, these are going to have to be cut about just a little bit shy of where the threads start. Also, this bolt hole needs to be over here, but that's besides the point. So, it is time for super fun grinder time yet again. I think I'll cut them down here. That should be good. Well, it took 3 of us, but through a combination of willpower and sheer stupidity, we got the transmission back in. Mostly. It is bolted up, at least. But then once I went to bolt up the trans mount, things went to crap again. So if you look in this hole, that is a helicoil. And over here is a helicoil that failed miserably. So now I've got to try and fix that, because this bracket is completely unobtainium, and it goes right there and bolts the trans to the trans mount. And you cannot buy these. So I bought more helicoils, because if at first you don't succeed, try again. I can't believe that failed. Actually, is it? No, it definitely failed. Huh. And it's a dead end hole too. It doesn't go anywhere. That's fun. How on earth did they actually do that? Now you may be asking yourself, Jake, how do you remember where all these nuts and bolts go after not working on this car for so long? Well, I don't have the slightest idea. We are operating purely on vibes here, and the fact that there's like maybe 4 sizes of fastener, and they all have to go somewhere, so we just get to decide where that is. What is the next step? Status update, the transmission is coming back out.
For the 4th?
Too many.
Fourth
Far too many.
I don't know. Third time since I've been here.
It won't go in. That's all we know. So we're taking it out so we can load it up on a trailer and take it somewhere.
To the dump.
The dump, yeah.
So
it's
yeah.
coming back out. Yeah. Shall we explain when it's out? I think what's happening is the bushing is not going in the crankshaft the way it's supposed to, because we kept just basically pivoting the transmission endlessly around the crankshaft.
Yeah.
And then we realized that the flywheel wasn't seated all the way, which is a common issue. I had that issue last time. So we seated it all the way, and it still didn't go in. So I don't know what the hell.
I'm back at it again.
It's your boys. Okay.
Why do I do this to myself? Jake!
What? Is it the wrong one?
Ah! Didn't like that.
No, that's not good. I didn't look very hard. I might have ratcheting 18.
I'm just gonna continue my shenanigans over here.
Updates.
You don't.
I do not. I've got a ratcheting 17. I hope that helps. So, what have we learned?
Well, we learned you can't put two of the centering bushings in at the same time. So we took that assembly out, and I went to go and push this inside to see if it would actually fit inside the back of the crank. And Jake and I quickly realized that there was a centering bushing in there. Now these look really similar. The that little flange depth that goes into the whatever flywheel clutch assembly housing thing is slightly deeper on this one, but the shoulder is also a lot lower. So what we're thinking is this was pushed in so far into the crank that it didn't allow the clutch to engage with it, and thus causing our vibrations. But that's kind of just a theory right now, and
yeah.
So we're gonna go through all of this all over again.
Also, that is aftermarket and that is OEM Chrysler, because this is an aftermarket flywheel, and they, obviously they come with a centering bushing. So we're gonna put it back together with all OEM bushing and numbers matching for the Mopar people.
Yeah, we're gonna suffer some more and try and yeet this transmission back in for the 12th time.
The suffering never ends. So
it should be easier this time.
Well, I guess I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, let's definitely clean out the.
Oh yeah, let's see how well.
Crankshaft.
Let's see how well this fits into the crankshaft. We got to check the insertion.
Sir.
Okay, fun things we're learning. Learning lots. This is an education experience. Are you feeling educated?
I'm feeling like I never want to work on another Chrysler product again.
Yeah, same.
Even though I work on Mercedes, yes. But those are the good Chrysler products.
No one's ever said that before in their life.
Oh. So, here is the old one. This is the one that was in it, the aftermarket. We noticed that this the shoulder on this was a lot lower, and it's more rounded at the top, and it is aftermarket, which we all know what happens with aftermarket parts and tolerances and all of that. So insert this one, and now I've got it cleaned out and without grease. We've got actually a pretty considerable amount of play with it fully inserted. Then we take the OE bushing, insert it, and we've got virtually zero. I think just that discrepancy was enough to cause our nasty vibration, because looking at the flex plate, I don't see any cracks or anything, and obviously the clutch and everything should be pretty balanced. So let's slap her together and see if it works.
Oh yeah, just slap it together. It's just that easy.
On video it is.
Just that easy.
On video it is.
The problem is, you buy bananas and then 5 seconds later they're all bad.
Fair. We took the entire clutch assembly out, and we were kind of suspicious because it looked like the clutch, the actual plate was a little bit off center. So we took the pressure plate off, centered it up, bolted it back together, got this bushing in, got the old bushing out, cleaned the hub inside the crank, and we're going to throw her back up there and pray it all goes well.
Yeah, we think we figured out why this trans is so heavy. It's pretty much structure, because like the motor is held up by a mount over there and a mount over there, and so those bell housing bolts are
Kind of structural.
They're tying everything together, which is probably why this trans weighs so freaking much for how small it is.
It's a stressed member.
Yeah. There's no rear engine mount or rear trans mount or anything like that.
Your car's basically a Ferrari.
Or Ducati.
Yeah, well, the F40, the engine and transmission are part of the frame, so...
Yeah, true.
You basically have a Ferrari.
In lieu of a subframe, this just has the world's dumbest transmission.
That's so much better.
We can get a decent view here of why this transmission is so annoying. This differential just is in the worst spot, because the trans is not level right now. This is level, so we have to get it up and then tilt it like 30-some degrees because those are the top two bolts there, and then also that diff has to go up, around, and over that sort of rear cross member there. Yeah, that thing. So this is all a big bundle of suck that I can't really film anyway, so we're just going to cut to when it's in and we're happy, and we're going to go eat food when we're done.
I don't know if we'll be happy after it's in.
No, but we'll be happy because we'll get to eat.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm starving.
Can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat. You eat your trans.
Yeah?
It's there.
It's there.
Got it bolted back up. It actually cinched up together. Everything went as well as it could have with the resources we have available.
Which is not much. Like, we were just hammering wood.
Yeah, it's
hard and fast.
we have
Constantly.
pry bars, a transmission jack that is literally useless for such a lopsided assembly.
I mean, it's a freaking Harbor Freight trans jack, so useless in general, really.
And did I say pry bars?
Lots of pry bars, yeah. We
Yeah.
have more than a few of these.
Those were clutch.
And it took 3 pairs of hands.
Yeah. So, but it's in. It's got 2 bolts in it,
That's
and
enough.
I've got the assembly lined up with the flex plate, so you can throw your bolts in, and yeah, we're gonna be all right. Hopefully everything goes well, and it doesn't shake the fillings out of your teeth after we're done.
If it does, it's going in the river.
Yeah. Yeah,
We can
it
use-
should
we can-
it should go in the river. You need to kill the whole thing.
Yeah, we can use it to launch one of those canoes by just like setting it on top and then just driving the whole thing into the river.
No, I volunteered to be in the canoe. So, yeah, that's where we're at, and hopefully it goes well. Nose goes on installing that trans mount, because
Yeah, I'll do that.
I don't want to go through that misery again.
Yeah, no, I got that. Well, yeah, it might go smoother now since the trans is actually going to be lined up with the mount, since it's actually,
Yeah,
bolted in.
in and bolted to the engine, which is great.
Turns out that'll probably make a difference. Because, trans mount sucks. You gotta, like, wiggle it in underneath all that.
Yeah, that actually does look good. Well, the whole engine is cocked towards the front, but
You can't say that on YouTube.
canted towards the front. Oh, yeah. The magic screwdriver.
I'm astonished it didn't shear at any point during that.
It's the finest chrome vanadium.
The finest knockoff Snap-on money.
Hey, it says pro,
It does say pro.
so
But we're not pros, so...
I am.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. The engine is together. Bell housing all bolted up. Flywheel bolts. All the CV shafts and stuff. It's full of ATF, half of which just ended up on the ground because reasons. And the battery's hooked up. So now all that's left is to go in here into the inside of the car where we are removing the shifter, which is just 3/8 it looks like. Yep, those are definitely 8s. And then I can put the other booger bushings on the other end of the shift cables, hopefully. I think I might have to remove this whole center console though, and this wonderful trim is probably going to go as well. it doesn't exactly stick all that well. Alright, it's in. That sucked. 3 bolts here, 2 Phillips there, 2 Phillips there, and then you get the center console loose, but the seats have to come out, I think, to get the center console out all the way, so there's a bunch of wiggling. One of the bushings is down there on this side, the other one is, you know, the front and back movement is at the bottom of this stick here, so once you get that one popped off, this whole thing can kind of twist and come out, and better than it was. Better than it was for sure. There we go. Okay. Time to put the screws back. Oh yeah. Popped this guy out back here so I could get a little bit more wiggle room. So now throw this all back together and we're good to start the car. Okay, first start, here we go. Yeah, I guess I should have seen that coming. Okay, round 2, maybe? Hopefully. Please? I said please, now you've got to do it. It runs! It still vibrates really bad. Well, that's immensely upsetting. I guess the only thing that could be is if I guess the dual mass flywheel is just completely shot and vibrating. That's all I can think of. But I'm not replacing it. Let me know if you want this car. Hit me up with an offer. I'm done with it. Done with this garbage. Thanks for watching.